Hello, in this screencast we're going to go through the process of manually marking spike burst events in Persyst and then exporting the duration of the spike burst events to a file that we can open in Excel and save it however we like. My name is Michael Guest, VP of Research and Clinical Applications for Persyst. Let's get started. I have a recording here with several spike bursts in the record. You may have ones with longer or shorter or more frequent ones. The first thing I'm going to do is, since I'm in a review, I want to go ahead and close these numeric panels, since I'm not using that for the electrode signal quality or the other numeric displays. That's typically displayed during acquisition, but in review we can afford ourselves a bit more screen real estate. And I'll leave the comments open because we're going to use this and filter the comment types. Now, the first way we can look at spike burst events is that these are marked by the algorithm. When there's a series of spikes detected within faster than 1 per second, it's going to mark those as a spike burst. So let's go ahead and display spike detections, and these are individual spike detections here on the right. It's not what we're looking for. We can look for seizure detections, but again, these are shorter than seizures, so we're going to go ahead and go back to display all, and in the search comments box I'm going to type in burst, and that is where these 3 spike burst events are listed. And we can see the duration here, 4, 3, and 1 second. So one thing to keep in mind is that the way time is expressed or displayed in Persyst is user definable. If I go to Preferences, General Preferences, and look over here, I can see that the time is set to display to 3 decimal places. You can change that. I'll just go to 1 decimal place for now. We'll see it update here where now we only have 1 decimal point of precision. You can control that to be however you like. Now, to copy this table, I can right click and copy table to clipboard, and then what I'm going to do is launch Excel, and I'll go ahead, start up a blank worksheet, bring this down onto the screen here, and just paste the results in there. So easy enough. There's my duration. So I've got my text, my time, and the duration of that event. So that's one way to do it. I'm going to go ahead and move that off the screen, minimize it. Let's look at hand marking. But before we do, I'm just going to mention one other thing here. If I go to the split screen and show the trend display, and we'll go ahead and zoom in on this to 15 minutes because the cursor is covering it, you can see that here we have a little bit of seizure probability being marked at this. However, the duration does not meet the minimum duration requirements for the seizure detector. That's user settable, but if I go ahead and click the properties for the seizure detector, we can see that it's set to have a minimum duration of 8 seconds by default. You of course can change that, but we also have something marking spike bursts, and those can be as short as a second in duration. So that's what's being shown here in the EEG sleep-wake trends, as we have a trend of spike burst detections showing graphically. So you see them in the comment list, but you also see them marked here as well. And if we go down to spike detections, we can see that these are being marked as mostly being a mix of ones that are marked as left or as generalized. I'd say most of these are generalized. So, all right, that's looking at it in the trend display. Now let's go ahead and mark this manually. Now to do that, I just click where I want to begin marking, and let's say I'll mark here, or I might mark a little further back because this one shows up in different groups of channels. It shows up in the left a bit sooner, so let's say we want to mark it here. All right, now what we do is select range, and I just click where I want to end that marking, and now I can click comment, and I'm going to call this add manual, because I've already got automated spike burst detections, and let's say I want to mark these separately and count their duration differently. And the reason I use an @ symbol, by the way, is when I sort the list alphabetically, they float to the top of the list. There's no other reason, no other purpose for using an @ symbol. It's a convention and a handy one to sort comments that may be of different text, but you want to group them together towards the top of an alphabetized list. You just put an @ symbol at the front. All right, so there's the first one. Now I could use the trends to help me find the other spike bursts for whatever reason. Let's say I didn't use the comment list here. I could just click this one here, and I have not marked this one yet. So all I have to do is click where I want to begin marking, select range, click the end of that, and then type in a comment. And again, you can use any comment you want for that. So this is now marked it as well. Go back to the trends. This is a shorter one. I haven't marked this one, but you get the idea. Select range, and again, use whatever criteria you want to mark onset and offset. Okay, we get the point of marking that. So how do we get that list? Well, instead of typing a burst, I'm going to type in manual. There are my manual events. Right click, copy table to clipboard, and let's bring this up. I'm just going to paste this here. There are my hand mark durations, and then you can do just that, export that to CSV or however you'd like. So that's a quick overview of doing that sort of marking. Again, this is Michael Guest, VP of Research and Clinical Applications. Feel free to let me know if there are any questions. Thank you.